Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be another pregnancy update for you. I am currently 26 weeks. This one's going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to, get into the nitty-gritty on where the baby is at and all that. I'll leave that for the next update video, only because this one is going to be more about what's been happening in the last, well, what actually happened in the last 3 days. So I'm just going to get right into it because there's no other way to really say it, and I would have already mentioned it in the title briefly, but I ended up actually having to go into hospital on Wednesday. Today is Sunday, but before I get into that, just want to say, if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen my previous update videos, I have a major placenta previa, so I am considered high risk, and I was going to Ahmedabad Hospital. That's where I had Alina as well. But there's some changes, I'll get into that. I just wanted to say that in case you're new here. Also, I wanted to mention that I don't know when this video is going to go up. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to share it now, like in the next week or so, depending on my schedule. I don't know if I'll show you this video when I'm full term, so it's, we're in the safe zone of my pregnancy, or I may not show you this until the baby's born, only because I'm just worried about evil eye. That shit scares me. So I don't know exactly when you will see this, but you'll see it when you see it. So basically, I was just staying up to date with everything that was going on, just so I could remember all the details, or as much detail as possible. But essentially on Wednesday that just passed, it happened around 11:30, I'd say. I just finished having breakfast with Alina. I was actually going to vlog that day as well, but obviously I never ended up doing that. And I just went outside, took the bin out, nothing, insane, but I came back inside and felt like a gush in my underwear. Sorry, TMI. If you don't like that stuff, then this probably isn't the video for you, but I'm going to be getting pretty TMI in this video. But yeah, so I felt that feeling. I honestly thought that it was just wee because I've been feeling like my bladder has been a little bit weak lately, which happens in pregnancy. So I wasn't really worried. I just thought, oh yuck, and I was just gonna go and change my undies essentially. But as I went to the bathroom, I saw that it was actually blood. So yeah, I ended up bleeding. I did mention in my previous update videos that my midwife did stress to me to make sure I call if I have any bleeding, whether it's even a little bit, but definitely if it's a lot. And it wasn't a lot. It wasn't, falling down my leg or anything. It was just that little bit that fell on my undies. It's probably between a size of a 10-cent coin to a 20-cent coin, probably less than a 20-cent coin. Don't mean to get into too much detail, but I did just want to say it just in case it's someone out there who's curious. So I just thought, okay, that's awesome. This isn't good. I wasn't stressing out just yet, I think because my midwife prepared me for it, so I kind of was ready for it, but I just honestly didn't think it would ever happen to me. But I still was taking it pretty well. However, I was a bit worried on how Idris would react, so that's something that I was more worried about. So I just went on the toilet just to wee as well, and I could feel more coming out, and I even saw more blood coming out. Not a lot, obviously it stopped when I finished weeing, and as I wiped there was blood on the tissue as well. I cleaned up, put a pad on, new undies, went and told Idris, and pretty much called my midwife straight away, and went into hospital immediately. We didn't really have much time. It wasn't like early in the morning, but we were still kind of waking up, we hadn't brushed our teeth yet, we just finished having breakfast, all that stuff. So we had to quickly get ready, and we have to grab whatever we can. I wasn't planning on staying at the hospital or anything like that, so I didn't bring anything like that, just my purple folder which has all my information in it, and just the necessities plus Alina's stuff. So as soon as I got to the hospital, I met with my midwife Amelia. Luckily she was working that day. She assessed me internally, and she did say that I was still bleeding when she checked internally, and she said that it could be coming from the placenta, but she wasn't sure. And then she went and got the doctor, and the doctor asked me the same questions that Amelia did, and then they went and got the specialist. The specialist did a ultrasound scan right there and then, and I could see the scan, and she showed me, and I could see clearly that the placenta is covering the OSH, which is a cervix, and it's covering the entire thing, not even just a little bit or halfway. It's literally covering the entire thing, which is what I have mentioned in my previous videos as well. So it hasn't even moved. She checked the baby as well while she did the scan, and he was fine, but the only reason why they're worried is that if it's bleeding from the placenta, then that's kind of the blood that's not going to the baby, and that's not good, because obviously the placenta is a baby's lifeline. In the end, they decided, because I'm such high risk and if I continue to bleed, they're not really equipped to be able to care for the baby this early on, like 26 days. Sorry, I'm getting, not 26 days, 26 weeks, sorry. And when I went into hospital, I was 25 weeks, 6 days, so those days when I actually was officially 26 weeks. Either way, they're not equipped to care for someone in my type of high risk pregnancy, as well as caring for a baby if we had to give birth. So they transferred me to hospital, which apparently is like a female's hospital, so they're fully equipped to care for women with, you know, major pregnancy risk and also really young premature babies as well. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer because I never been to before. Amelia obviously wouldn't be there to, you know, care for me or anything like that. So yeah, I was a little bit nervous. Anyway, so obviously they were preparing me to go there, doing the paperwork. They put a drip in my wrist. You can actually see, I think, see the dot in my hand still from where it was, right there. Hurt like a bitch, by the way. When I was having Alina, they put it here on the side and it wasn't that bad, but this one here, oh my god, hurt so much. They took some blood as well and they left it on there basically, and I had to get some steroids, which was called celostine, to basically mature the baby's lungs if in the event that I had to give birth to the baby early. Obviously I did end up having the baby, alhamdulillah. He still has time to cook. They just did that for precautions. Everything that they did was based on just to be safe, rather to get it out of the way rather than leave it to the last minute. The Ahmadiyya hospital gave me my first injection of celostine in my bum, which hurt by the way, and it basically just helps to mature the baby's lungs. I ended up getting taken to by the ambulance. I just had to drop Alina off to my sister-in-law's house for her to look after, which I really appreciate. It just ended up meeting me at and pretty much throughout the trip to the paramedics was just checking up on me every couple of minutes. My heart pressure, my pulse. He ended up checking my sugar levels. At the time I didn't understand why. I thought it was just because they knew that I've got family history of diabetes, but in the end I actually found out it's because of the celestine that actually affects my blood level, which is bad for the baby. So it made all sense, but I didn't even find that out until literally like the last day I was in hospital. So I had no idea why they were checking my sugar levels. I just thought it was because I had listed that my family has diabetes. So I'm a little bit better now, but I was still a little bit sick then with the flu and everything. I did tell my midwife Amelia that I was sick when I got there, and she was a little bit funny at first. She checked my temperature and everything, and then eventually she was fine. But it was a little bit more strict. So when I got to King Edward's, they couldn't just take me straight upstairs. I had to wait in the emergency area because I was sick. So I had to get the COVID test done,
which was amazing, by the way.
Like, I totally recommend it. Not. It was awful. Definitely awful. Seriously don't recommend it. But obviously if you have it, then you need to do it. Obviously, you know what I mean. It was just really annoying because I had to stay in a room, I had to wear a mask, and then the midwife or the nurse or whoever was caring for me had to be all covered up, wearing like a shield on her face and mask and everything, and I could barely hear her. But she took my blood, she did my test as well, the COVID test as well as influenza. Basically, just long story short, it came back negative, so I was fine, which I knew anyway. Like, I knew I didn't have coronavirus, but I understand, you know, the safety measures and everything like that. But yeah, so I was all clear for that, but I didn't find out about that until like probably an hour or 2 hours after. Actually an hour and a half to 2 hours, or maybe longer than that, which was really frustrating. Honestly, I don't know how surgeons last wearing masks for so many hours at a time and not feel hot and yuck, because it's so uncomfortable. I've got to hand it to them. So they took more blood, and also they assessed me again internally. I think by that time it wasn't bleeding anymore. I can't remember exactly, to be honest. I don't know if I wrote it on. Oh, apparently it was only bleeding a little bit, and I think that was only because I asked the lady was it still bleeding, and she said only a little bit. And they checked for my cervix if it's closed, and it was still, so that's good. And yeah, after that I had to wait for my COVID results, which came back negative, as I said. And after that it was just kind of just waiting around. So basically after they took the test, they never took the test away immediately to get it checked. Like, that was like an hour or half an hour to an hour of it just sitting there. So that's why we had to wait another hour to get the results. Then we had to wait a little bit longer to get all the paperwork done, to get me admitted, to wait for a bed. Apparently they got a room for me, but they're waiting for a bed to be available as well. But in the end they brought me food, which was really good because I was getting so hungry by then. I don't even know what time it was at that point, to be honest. But yeah, so they brought food over to me, which was pretty good actually. I don't know if I mentioned it in my other videos, but Armadale, they give you really good food when I was there for Alina. So I was a little bit skeptic on the food there. I know it shouldn't be my priority, but come on. Like, you want to have decent food, and the food was pretty good. They served me lasagna, which is my favorite, and yeah, it was really good. And then pretty much after I finished eating, they took me straight up to my room and got me settled in there. Can't remember what time. I think it was already getting night time. Can't remember exactly. I didn't even write the times. I should have done that. But 10 p.m. I got checked again, like pulse, temp, blood pressure, checked the baby's heart rate, and also checked my sugar levels. And at that time it was pretty high at 8.8, and then that was it. Like, I had a really bad sleep that night. I wasn't really that worried. I just didn't want to be at the hospital, like away from Alina. It was like the first time ever I was away from Alina, especially overnight as well. So I was worried for her, I was worried for Idris, and I was just really sad for me because I was alone. And then unfortunately, new day came. Visitors weren't allowed in until 3 p.m. so I didn't see Alina until 3 p.m. which was really hard. Not to mention it was also boring for me. I ended up having to stay again for a second night for further observation, which really sucked. It was really hard when Idris and Alina had to leave. I started to cry because, you know, as I said, I didn't want to be alone and I didn't want to be away from, you know, Alina and Idris. Alina was fine when we were saying goodbye, but I was already crying, and then I think she kind of picked up on it, and then she started crying when Idris was about to walk out of the room. And because my room was like literally the first bedroom from the entrance, so I could hear her from the elevator until they went inside the elevator, just crying her eyes out. And yeah, I was just, yeah, it's even just hard just thinking about it. This hospital is a 30-minute drive away from our house, and apparently Alina pretty much cried the entire way home. So that was really hard to hear. Yeah, it was just a whole bunch of emotions going through all of us for the last 3 days. So I had my dinner, and then my midwife took my sugar levels and it went down to 7.6. So she was concerned about it, so I started to take it seriously and started to watch what I was eating. So it was really good. They pretty much give you like a cheat sheet on what you should order, because basically this has happened at Armadale too. They give you a list and you get to choose what you eat for the next meal, and that's what we did. So every time they brought you your breakfast, they'll leave you a sheet of paper to write down what you want for lunch and so forth. And because of the whole colostone increasing your blood levels and stuff, they gave me a cheat sheet to figure out, you know, which one that didn't have a lot of carbs. So yeah, I started to take it seriously because I didn't really know that I needed to take it seriously. Like, honestly, no one really stressed it out to me that I had to do it. It just sounded like more of an option. That's why I was just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. And then I would just go all out on my order and order whatever. After that, I took it seriously because I did not want to stay there. I wanted to go home, so I wanted to, you know, do the best I can to get home. So the medical team came to see me the next day, by the way. I didn't even mention that. That's when they told me they had to stay for another night for further observation. They came again on the third day, so Friday, then the second day. So I was there Friday. I was there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday was my last day. They came up Friday morning like they always do, and they were happy for me to go home, but because of my sugar levels they had to go talk to the physician first to see what they think. So yeah, there's a little bit more waiting around on that area, but in the end the physician came back and pretty much said no, it's fine, she can go home. So I was like, yes, I was so happy. Idris and I were FaceTiming at the time too, and I just looked at him and I just wanted to cry. He was happy. Yeah, we were all just really happy that I was coming home. Obviously it was the first time for Idris to be alone with Alina too, so you know, he had a lot on his plate basically. So yeah, with the changes, I'm just going to read exactly what I wrote down just so it's easier. But my pregnancy is considered high risk, and the medical lady explained that I am grade 4, and my previous hospital, which is the Armadale hospital, they are only equipped to care for anyone around grade 2, but anything above that they're not equipped to care for them, which would mean that if I did choose to further continue my care at Armadale, it would be shared between 2 hospitals, which is Armadale and then Fiona Stanley. And I just didn't want to do that. One, because I didn't want to have to go to 2 different hospitals each time. I reckon it would just get really annoying and confusing and frustrating, and I just feel like communication could be missed, you know, somehow between the 2. Also, since moving to Perth, I heard not the greatest reviews on Fiona Stanley. Apparently it's like the newest hospital in Perth, but the midwives aren't that experienced compared to Armadale, and like they're not as caring, and I just don't want to have to deal with that when you know, you just had a baby and you just don't want to be surrounded by people who aren't caring, because you're already in an emotional wreck, you know what I mean? Anyway, the other option was to stay with which I obviously chose. And also because I just never been to Fiona Stanley, I've already experienced Armadale, I ended up experiencing I just rather stay with if, you know, that means one hospital and I'm already like comfortable there. So yeah, that's all the notes I wrote down based on what's happened from Wednesday to Friday. I was able to go home pretty much by lunchtime, but Elena was asleep, so I had to wait for her to wake up and for her just to come pick me up. And yeah, so I'm pretty much going to be continuing the rest of my pregnancy through I believe I have a follow-up appointment, the antenatal clinic, not this coming Tuesday but the next one, and I got to get an ultrasound scan as well, and that's pretty much as far as we've went at this moment. I did get advised by my old previous midwife Amelia, as well as the medical team, that I should get ambulance cover, because if I end up bleeding a lot I need to call the ambulance. I can't just get it to take me, like I have to call ambulance. But obviously if it's a little bleeding like what happened on Wednesday, I can just drive there. That's pretty much what's happening with my pregnancy at the moment. Look, I'm just going to be real. I'm not taking it too well. If I think about it too hard, I get a little bit teary and emotional over it. Pregnancy with Alina, it did have a problem. Alina only had 2 vessels, I think, or just 1. There's supposed to be 3. Can't remember now which if she had 2 or just 1, but either way she was missing a vessel from the placenta to her, which meant I had to get monthly ultrasound checkups on her for her growth, and if things didn't turn out well, I would have had to deliver early and she would have like lung issues or kidney issues, one of the 2. So it wasn't bad. I feel like this is a lot worse. Obviously I didn't have placenta previa with Alina either, so it wasn't, you know, that stressful. I wasn't high risk with Alina, I'm high risk with this one, and I genuinely believed that I wasn't going to experience any bleeding and I wasn't going to have any issues. The only thing that I was preparing myself for was that my placenta may not move and I may have to have another C-section. That's all. I just thought that's as bad as it could get. So when I saw the bleeding, the blood, yeah, I just genuinely thought nothing was going to happen. Didn't really think I would bleed. I thought I had it all in the bag. It just even felt the same way too. It's kind of stressful at the moment, more just mentally, like emotionally stressful. This is my second day at home, so obviously everything's still a little bit fresh. I might feel a little bit better in the next few days or weeks, but yeah, I just thought I'd talk about it now and decide later if I want to share this or not. I don't know why. I just feel like because I'm already doing updated videos, I want to keep you along on the journey, but I don't know when I want to upload it, just because I'm worried about the evil eye. If in the event that I do upload this sooner rather than later, I just hope that anyone who prays for me, their prayers outweigh the evil eye. Let me know in the comment box down below if you know you've experienced this, or you're going through it too, you've got placenta previa too, or whatever, and you just want someone to talk to. Definitely, you know, just swing me a message, contact me on, you know, Instagram, direct message if you want it to be more private. Whatever it is that you want to do, if you just need someone to talk to, let me know. I guess it's kind of why I thought I'd do this video, in case there is someone out there who's in the same boat, who's worried, just needs someone to talk to that is going through the same thing. I don't know. And just to keep you in the loop, I guess, because I've already been doing that anyway. Saying all that, I haven't even mentioned the baby's fine. I didn't have any new bleeding after that. It was all good. I think it was just I had to stay there longer because just to be safe, and also because my sugar levels were high as well, because I wasn't really watching what I was eating. I was just eating whatever basically. So there was no change in the baby's movements or anything. He was still very much active and I was fine. It was just precaution, and then also I was just sad because I was alone and I hate being alone. That's pretty much it. I might as well just end this video, otherwise I'm going to be repeating myself for another 10 minutes and bore your brains out. So depending if I upload this sooner rather than later, stay tuned for another update. I may do another update after the appointment. Depends what the appointment entails. I'm not really sure what it will entail, to be honest. Otherwise I'll continue my regular update based on the week. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to, you can click that notification bell too, so you don't miss out on any updates. Thank you for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't want any sympathy or anything like that. It's just purely just to keep you along on my journey because I've already started it already. I may as well continue it on. I don't want you to think that this is some kind of like, I want you to feel sorry for me, I want you to give me sympathy. I don't want that. I actually really don't like that. I don't like that type of attention. It's just purely because I wanted to share in case you're interested. I'm really excited that I've reached 800 subscribers already. It's just been growing so fast. I'm so happy, which is kind of why I also want to continue being more real with you guys. I feel like maybe that's what you guys want, because that's what I've been doing, is being more real and being more honest and stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited. 800 subscribers, and I've had this YouTube channel since 2015 and it's finally 800 subscribers. That really makes me happy. I'm so close to 1000. Thank you for all of you who have subscribed. Really means a lot. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram as well. I'm very much active on there. I don't actually put a lot of my personal stuff on Instagram though, so if you want more personal stuff, then I guess you're at the right place on YouTube. But yeah, if you do want to see like, you know, fashion content and just more behind the scenes on my Insta stories, like my life, just random stuff, then follow me on Instagram as well, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye.